What's up, everybody? Krakenol here. I'm overwhelmed. Let me just say that. A little bum. I'm not sponsored by them, but I could be. All right. We just had a crazy reveal. I kind of got jebaited where they went live. They showed the debut video. It went very quickly. I couldn't snip anything. And then it ended. And then they waited a few minutes and went live for like the weekly MTG. Anyways, we went live a little earlier. I'm going to go live again. I think what I want to do is just go live, record this at the same time of being live on Twitch, and then I'll post this up later. My name is Krakenol. Long story short, account was hacked. We're rebuilding. We used to have 1,500 subscribers. Let's get that number right back up there. If you like this content, just don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I'll be doing a lot of Magic pack openings, reveals, playing the game, videos like this. I do want to know how you guys like the format, this kind of like presentation style format. I'll ask you again like halfway through because the format changes just ever so slightly. I kind of want to see if you guys like that one better. I love Marvel. I'm a huge Marvel fan. Marvel is what technically brought me back into Magic. I've been playing since 2009, but I took a pretty decent sized break after the military and came back. I just want to grow this channel into like a family friendly channel, so it's something you're not scared to kind of leave on through the house. Let's get this thing going. This thing's long. First off, we got Mjolnir, Hammer of Thor, 3 in a red, legendary artifact, equipment. When Mjolnir enters, it deals 4 damage to up to 1 target creature. It doubles the damage of all equipped creature would deal, and it has equip worthy. Equip worthy is a creature is worthy if it is a legendary non-villain that's red and white, so it can equip to Thor, Iron Man, pretty much anything that has red or white in its cost. It's only got to equip 1, so technically for 5 mana you can get it out there and equip it in the same turn. Obviously this it's got the, I said obviously, 2 in a red, discard this card, it deals 2 damage to each creature. So it has a board wipe built in for small creatures, and then it also has 4 damage to like a larger creature. So this to me seems like it's got 2, like a modal removal in a way, but then it also has cheap equip cost if you're equipping it to like a specific type of creatures, the worthy creatures. And then I think it's very constructed playable. I don't know if it goes into anything outside of like standard. Obviously it's a good commander card. I don't think it would make it into like Hammer Time, although it is Hammer of Thor. That would be hilarious. It can equip to Cassandra in that deck as well, but I think it's a great card. And then with Thor, Thor, God of Thunder, 3 red, legendary creature, God, warrior, hero, flying. When Thor enters, exile target equipment, instant or sorcery from your graveyard. So let's say you discarded Mjolnir because you needed to blow up the board. Now you can play him, bring it back, throw the hammer, bring it back. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, Thor deals damage equal to that spell's mana value. So a 5/5 for 5 flying is not terrible. It's not the best, but it's not terrible. It's pretty on rate actually. I think it makes you think of like Glory Bringer, stuff like that. It lives off of playing like instant sorceries equipment, so you can get the equipment back, and then when you play the equipment, it's going to do 4 damage again to something else. So if you read Mjolnir, when it enters, it deals 4 damage to 1 target creature. Okay. But when you play Thor, it's also going to do 4 damage to any target. So, I mean, you can not bolt. You can do 4 to their face and then 4 to a creature with Thor and Mjolnir. So I think that's pretty sweet. Definitely a good commander card. Going forward, there's going to be tons of cards that I probably left constructed playable. We'll talk about it as I get to them, but most every card here is going to be some sort of commander playable. I don't play too much modern. I play some historic, so we'll kind of, if I see something that's good, we'll kind of talk about it. The Scarlet Witch, good in commander for sure. I put 2 in a red, Legendary creature, mutant warlock hero. Instant and sorcery spells you cost with mana 4 CMC or greater cost X less, where less is less to cast, where X is Scarlet Witch's power. So you can make 4 CMC spells cost 2. So if you had like 2 in a red blue, it can only cost red and blue. It could cost less based off our power, but I guess in Izzet you can typically grow the power, but it's pretty specific cost reduction. It has to be 4 or greater, but it does. I think it's a pretty good card. I don't know if it'll see constructed playable. Like, I don't think Izzet wants that card. But I think in Commander, this card, and Scarlet Witch is a beloved character, so I believe that card will get played for sure. Hulk Smash! It's it was like a common card they were showing off. I just thought it was funny. I think it's also part of the scene card, but this is like the regular art. But it does show off the new Teamwork keyword ability. So 1 in a red instant common Teamwork 4. As an additional cost to cast this spell, you may tap any number of creatures you control with power 4 or more. Choose one. If the spell was cast Teamwork, choose both instead. Destroy target non-creature artifact. So 2 mana to destroy an artifact. Instant speed though, it's not terrible. And then target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature and opponent controlled. So it's not a fight, it's a bite. So that's at instant speed. So it is at instant speed removals on both non-creature artifacts, which is pretty specific. But it is a instant speed bite, and you may tap. Yeah, so I guess for just 2 in a red, you can just bite something. But if you need to do an artifact 2, you need to do Teamwork 4. Cool card, cool art, probably draft playable, removal. Monica Rambeau. Don't mind the color order here. I was trying to get them as they were coming out. Things got crazy. Monica Rambeau, 2 in a white, legendary creature, human hero, flying prowess, 3/3. And then she has transform. So the transform dual face cards, so you can play her for the front or the back. Flying hexproof prowess. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you pretty much perma prowess your other creatures. I think flying and prowess 3/3 is very strong. I also think the backside, having like a payoff later with your mana, giving it hexproof, is also extremely strong. So I do think this is like standard playable for sure. I don't think you'd want this to be your general per se, but it would go in the 99 of like any Boros aggro style. But maybe you want it as your general. That's the beauty of Commander. Agent Coulson, 2 and a white, vigilance, legendary creature, human spy hero, vigilance. Tap, put a 1/1 counter in each other hero you control, 2/2. It's a 2/2 with board growing. I think it's kind of like a draft rare, like draft art type kind of thing. It can attack and then it can respond though by tapping and putting 1/1s on, because it doesn't say a sorcery speed. So you can tap with vigilance or attack with vigilance and then tap and grow the rest of your board. I think that's pretty cool. Murdoch's Crusade. So we're kind of getting a little bit of everything here, like Avengers ground level. There's a few X-Men in here because they were also Avengers at some point. That might make a couple people sad that they don't see like X-Men, but keep in mind there's a lot more sets coming for Marvel. 2 in a white, or 1 in a white, sorcery, teamwork 4 again. Choose one. This is exile target creature with toughness 4 or greater, straight justice or legal justice, exile target enchantment. Teamwork again, great draft playable card, I'm sure. It's got the double removal and modal again. Don't think we need this in standard, but it's always there as a playable removal card if we do need some sort of modal sideboard removal card. Captain Marvel, Earth's Protector, 3 white, legendary creature, human Kree hero, flash, flying, lifelink, power up. Power up is a new ability. We saw it on Thanos in that previous video I did. Put a 1/1 counter on incredible. Put a 1/1 counter and an indestructible counter on Captain Marvel. So the way power up works is activate each power up ability only once. Reduce the cost of they cost by her mana cost if she enters. So it's kind of like Kicker. It would cost 7 if you did it all in one turn. Like it came down and then you did the power up. So 7 to make her a 6/5 indestructible flash flying lifelink. I think that's still too high. Commander's way too fast these days to pull that off. So we'll just move on. I mean, Flash is nice, flying lifelink. This is like they showed off like a scene, like the regular art inside the set, and then there's also the scene art. They'll be in the set that you can open in regular boosters. It just makes this one massive fighting scene. I think it's pretty cool. Like we've already seen Doctor Doom, we've seen Thor and Mjolnir now, Captain Marvel and Photon, and I've got some of the other ones in here as well. I think so. We got Avengers Assemble, 4 and a white, enchantment, flash heroes, 2/2 at the beginning of each end step. If you attack with a hero this turn or a hero enter the battlefield, you draw a card. Commander card for heroes. You know, it's got draw in white plus an anthem, which I think is pretty cool, and it's flash, so it can kind of save. And it's got some great art. It's like Wonder Man, Rhodey, Hawkeye. What is that? Arachnid. I'm not sure who that's there right there with the M on her belt. And let me know down in the comments below. I mean, I'm a pretty good comic guy, but I kind of forgot that one. This is Loki, God of Mischief. We just saw it back there on that box art. But then they also posted this one a little later. 1 in a blue, whenever a god, sorcerer, villain, whenever a player or permanent becomes the target of an ability you control, draw a card. This ability triggers only once per turn. I think this is constructed playable. It's a 2 and a 2/1 though, but it's whenever a player or permanent becomes a target of an ability. So it's not just your stuff, it's your opponent's stuff too. You draw a card. The Bloomburrow card that did the same thing, like whenever your stuff got targeted, you got to draw a card. I think it was in green. Kind of reminds me of that, but in blue, and it's for both sides. So I think that's pretty reasonably costed as well. And it's Loki, so people love Loki. This is Leader Super Genius, 2 blue, legendary creature, Gamma Scientist Villain. So this is pretty cool. For a tag, if a creature you control would connive, instead you draw a card and then the creature connives. So you get to draw once and then you get to draw twice because connive is drawing and then discarding. Then at the beginning of combat on your turn, target creature you control connives. So it triggers itself each turn because it's smart. So at the beginning of combat, you're going to choose a target creature. And then it's going to connive. But then instead, you're going to draw a card, and then you're going to draw a second card for connive, and then you can discard a card. If it's a non-land, you're going to put a 1/1 on it. That's what connive does. Otherwise, you just discard a card, and it connives. But you get to churn through your deck at a pretty decent rate. I think it's great for like the Doctor Doom deck that's coming out for Commander that's like kind of villain connived focused. I think this card's like absolutely goes in that. I put draws 2 for 1, trigger for connive, and it triggers itself. So I don't know. I put constructed. Like I said, there's probably a lot of things I left constructed because anything could be playable as like the meta changes. But if there is some sort of connive deck, I think this would go in there at least as a 2 of. Tony Stark, the Invincible Iron Man. 1 in the blue on the front side. On one side, legendary creature, human artificer hero. Of the top 4 cards of your library, you may reveal an artifact card from among them, put it in your hand, and put the rest on the bottom. And then he's got 4 blue-red transform over to the other side. Then you can also play this again on the back side if you didn't want to play the front side first. Flying haste at the beginning of combat on your turn, you may put an artifact from your hand onto the battlefield. If it's an equipment, it will automatically attach. Spoiler alert, they're reprinting Titan of Invention, some of the secret layer commanders. I have a secret layer, I have a Titan of Invention deck. I think this, and it's a Voltron style deck, so I put it great in Titan of Invention Voltron because play equipment, You can reduce this down to being just a blue and a red because he is an artifact, legendary artifact creature. So you get to put this down, flying haste, combat triggers, you drop down Excalibur. Excalibur automatically attaches to Invincible Iron Man. Sick. Commander playable. I'll put card selection on the front side. Great card for Commander. Armor Wars. 2 and a blue red. Saga. Sagas are back. Sagas are pretty much like staple in Magic now. Chapter 1, you may draw a card for each artifact you control. If you do, each opponent draws a card. My note here was like it's forced draw in Commander. Like, so if you're having like a Nekizar style deck or any kind of draw pain pinger, it's like forcing them to draw the card because it does not say may. Artifact spells you control cost 1 less. It's only for 1 turn. I'm not sure how well that will do. It'd be cool if you kind of got like a token that would, or an emblem that would make this permanent. And then Chapter 3, Saga deals X damage to target opponent, where X is the greatest mana value among artifacts you control. I'm not sure. This is Commander playable for sure. Like I said, all cards probably are in this set, but I don't think this has like a big enough board impact to do anything. Even in Commander, I mean, you're probably going to come out, force draw, have an explosive turn on the second chapter, but then you can only get to hit 1 opponent. If that said Saga deals X damage to each opponent, then I think it'd be a lot better. Secret Invasion, 1 blue, enchantment aura. Enchant creature you control. When this aura enters, exile up to 1 target creature other than the enchanted creature until the aura leaves the battlefield. Enchanted creature becomes a copy of that creature until this aura leaves the battlefield. And then enchanted creature has ward. I think it's constructed playable because it's kind of like a banishing light in blue. It reminds me of like Sheltered by Ghosts because you enchant your creature and then you take one of theirs, exile it, but you get a copy of it, which is different than Sheltered. Sheltered just took it. This one gives you a copy, but then that creature has ward 2, which I think is great. It's pretty reasonably costed. All the like exile, banishing light, kind of the style cost 3. Sheltered was only 2. But I think the 1 mana extra that you're spending on this one to actually get the copy of the creature is worth the 1 mana. So that's a great card, I think. This one just kind of came out as we were recording. I probably missed a few that are coming out as we're recording. I'm going to link the gallery in the end, and I'll probably make another video tonight or early tomorrow that's kind of covering anything else that's come out. So don't get me if I haven't got everything. So this one's Echo, Perceptive Prodigy, 2 and a blue, legendary creature, human hero, vigilance. 1 and tap, copy target activated or triggered ability you control from a creature source. You may choose new targets for the copy. Copy target activated is pretty good. It's got like the same thing that Coulson did, where it's like vigilance, you can attack, and then you can also copy target activated trigger ability from a creature. They did say this was a Commander promo. I didn't actually get a picture of it, although there is a promo for her. And I thought that was just because it's like a Commander card, I think, and it's a Commander promo. Next was King the Conqueror. Some of these images, again, might not be up to snuff because they were getting snipped from places, and I'm sure the gallery's got better copies of it by now. But anyways, King the Conqueror, 2 blue, legendary creature, human villain, flying, power up, 5 blue. Put a 1/1 counter on King, take an extra turn after this one. So the power up can only be activated once. You only get 1 extra turn. You're only discounting it by 4. So it's still 8 mana for a 5/6, and then you're flying. So he'd get to attack 1 turn after he comes down if you did it all in 1 turn. I just think it's too much mana. I think if you're playing like Training Grounds or something like that in Commander and other effects like that can reduce power up, and then you're only playing like blue, and this comes down and maybe cost 1 blue, then now we're talking, but not for constructed. Multiversal Incursion, 5 blue for each non-token creature you control. Create a token. That's a copy of the creature, except it isn't legendary. I feel like we get one of these every set now, like, or every other set, where it's just like make a bunch of tokens in blue. They're not legendary. We got like the Spider-Man one where they're pointing at each other and all that nonsense. So I put Commander Bomb, kind of feels like the same blue spell we see a lot. Construct a Cosmic Cube. 2 black. Enchantment plan. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, create a 2/1 black villain creature token with menace and put a plan counter on this enchantment. When the 7th plan counter is put on this enchantment, sacrifice it. When you do, control target opponent during their next turn. So it's got Mindslaver built in. It's 3 enchantment plan, and whenever you draw your second card per turn, so I think it's really constructed playable. I think it's good with connive villains. You create 7 2/1s over the course of this plan, and then it triggers every time you like connive. So I think it goes really well in there, and it's a plan, which is new, like a enchantment type. So I think this one's really strong, especially if you're like playing the leader, and then you're like conniving again, and you're always triggering this. So I think it's a great card. Obviously, it goes in the Doctor Doom connive deck for sure. Electra, Daughter of the Hand, 2 black. Legendary creature, human ninja villain. That was on the Morrow spoilers. Sneak, 1 black. You may cast a spell for 1 black. If you do, return an unblocked attacker you control to its hand during a declare blocker step. She enters tapped and attacking, so it's kind of like ninjutsu. Whenever she enters, destroy target creature the opponent controls the power of 3 or less. So constructor playable. I think she's constructor playable because she's got removal on a body, and like everybody loves playing blue-black sneak ninjutsu stuff. So as long as Kaito is legal, I think this card is great. Masters of Evil, 5 and a black. Legendary creature, human villain. Other villains you control get 2/1. Discard this card. Search your library for a plan. Reveal it. Put it in your hand. Shuffle. Like here, I'm gonna buy. I'm gonna put this card in the Doctor Doom deck because it gives your villains 2/1, and it's got the discard card. Search your library for a plan. I don't think it's constructed playable unless plans are like cracked, but to put 2 or 3 or 4 of them in your like Doctor Doom deck or whatever, or any black deck with a bunch of plans, and you get to discard this and go find what you want, I think it's really costed well. 1 and a black. I guess if you need to reanimate this in that deck, I'm sure you have better targets, but you know, you're gonna give all your villains 2/1. I think it's good, especially probably like great in a budget villain deck for sure. Then MODOK, great art. I love that they put it like this: 3 black, legendary artifact creature, villain, flying lifelink. So if you don't know, MODOK stands for mental organism designed only for killing. So a mental organism, pay 3 life, MODOK connives, activate only during your turns. But that's repeatable as long as you got the life. But he has lifelink. But then as soon as he comes in, he also has like a static ability. Creatures your opponent control get -1/1. So I'm unsure if it's playable and constructed. It's pretty decent in Commander though, because it's an artifact creature. It's got like, you have more life to work with to connive more than once, and you just keep like the pest style like 1/1 decks in check. So I think it's a pretty great card. I love the design. I love the the mental organism design, at least for killing, text box. Go Nuts. I think there's like a draft card, but they showed it off. We've seen the art for it. It's got Squirrel Girl defeating Doctor Doom, which I think is great. It's a green sorcery, teamwork 3 instead of 4 this time. Choose one if the spell is cast using teamwork. Choose one or both, or choose both instead. Put a 1/1 on a creature and then fight. So you can fight, which was different than the bite earlier, but you can fight and put a 1/1. It's a draft card, but it's there. And then here is the unbeatable Squirrel Girl, 1 green, legendary creature, squirrel human hero. Do you like squirrels? Whenever the unbeatable squirrel enters or attacks, create a 1/1 green squirrel. And then I love squirrels. 1 green, create X 1/1 green squirrel tokens, where X is the number of squirrels you control. So I think she's just a commander. They put them in all the sets. Great in any squirrel decks like Chatterfang or whatnot, but she could be helming it. It kind of just depends if you love Squirrel or not. But she is a good squirrel commander. And then Tigra, Feline Fury, 1 of the green, flash trample when you gain life at a 1/1. I think this is great if there's like a green Stompy deck or like a green hero Stompy deck or just whatever comes out of it, green white. And you have like some incidental life gain in there, maybe not like built around life gain, just like incidental life gain, and she has flash. So and trample too, like so flash, trample, and then she can be like a 3/2 when you play her if you have like some sort of incidental life gain in your deck. I think it's a cool card. And then Daredevil, Man Without Fear, 2 red white, legendary creature, human hero, vigilance and haste. You may look at the top card of your library at any time. Whenever you attack, you may exile the top card of your library. If that card is a hero, Daredevil gets 2/1 until the end of the turn, and you may play that card this turn. I think it's pretty constructive playable because it comes down, it's got vigilance and haste, so it's good on offense, defense. It's kind of like a hero payoff in a way that you can boost him. Like you don't have to have the heroes to get the 2/1. You just need the radar sense, really, where you can look at the top card of your library, and it's Daredevil. And look at that art, man. Sick art. This one, Worlds Within Worlds. I mean, I know the storyline, but it's such 5 green blues, so 7 mana. Exile all creatures. Each player may put any number of creature cards from their hand onto the battlefield, and then put all cards exiled into their owner's hand, and then you exile the card. It's just a commander green blue nonsense card. If you have a problem with that, let me know in the comments below. Arc Reactor is Commander Rock. 5, Improvise. The center enters tapped, and it taps for 3, so it's kind of like, it's not Basalt Monolith, but I mean, it's got 3 taps like Basalt Monolith. It does have Improvise, and you're playing it probably in your artifact deck anyway, so it could be a 0 mana, like, tap for 3, so, I mean, it's great Commander Rock. Kingpin of Crime, 1 white and a black, legendary creature, human villain. It's got Extort and it's Kingpin. Come on, it like wins off of that alone. But whenever you attack, you may pay 2 life. If you do, until the end of the turn, creatures you control with toughness greater than their power assign combat damage equal to their toughness rather than their power. You don't have to do that. Some of those, like the big butts decks, they like it's always on. This one lets you choose when you want to do it, which I think is pretty cool. So I put like good. It could be good for like a constructed black-white sort of like. I don't know if they're going to do more than 1 Extort, but for sure it's Commander Butts. 3 CMC 1/5 with Extort blocks well. And this is like a showing off their bold logo. We have a lot more coming up, but this is just the first one I think I've shown that has like the bold logo design, which I think I like the design of it. Here's another one. King T'Challa, Black Panther, 1 white blue on the front side, legendary creature, human noble hero. So this is like not in his Black Panther form. Whenever a player draws their second card each turn, you get to draw a card. Flash 3/2, and then he's got 4 white blue, flash double strike, so he's 3/3, so he hits for 6. Prevent all damage that would be dealt to Black Panther, so he's sticky. And whenever Black Panther does combat damage, draw a card. So I think it's pretty constructive playable as long as that like flashy style white blue deck is played, like the one that has like Aang and stuff in it. The front side I think is better than the back side. With the back side's like, it's good in the late game. And I think there's the other Aang that flips too. It's kind of like the front side's better, but if you need to in the back side, you can kind of close out the game with double strike and draw. Noticeably, it's blue-white instead of a blue-green. There is I put blue-green, but I mean green-white. But there is a green-white coming up, so don't mind the blue-green there. So the draft archetypes. This is where I switch up the format a little, and I just want to know if you guys like the other format where I'm kind of like breaking down each card with the name and like it's, you know, PowerPointy and broken in, or just like this right here, where we just kind of talk about it. And they're not all this crowded, but this is the 10 draft archetypes. And you just let me know which style of format you like in the video. So I don't want to go over all of these because we're already running at 30 minutes right now. But these are the 10 draft archetypes that we got going on. The red white's like a prowess, blue red's are artifacts, your green blues your 1/1s, your black red's your villains, your blue black is also like your villains and your second draws, your blue whites your vigilance creatures that protect themselves, and your green reds your power ups. White black's your death touch, first strike combat trick nonsense. Green white is kind of token pump boards, and then black green. I remember they made a comment that Killmonger was like one of their harder ones they were trying to design. That's like, you know, trying to get back at his past. So I'll read that one. Whenever Killmonger enters, you may sacrifice another creature. When you do, destroy target non-land permanent opponent controls. As long as there are 2 or more creature cards in your graveyard, he gets 2/1. So he could be a 4 mana 5/4, and then you sacrifice another creature and just destroy a non-land permanent. So I think that is pretty good. These are just like the uncommons from the headline draft thing, but not bad though. And then here are your basic lands. I like that swamp in the middle a lot. I like the forest. I think Viv Vision was in one of these they showed off, but I don't see it here. I think it was one of the other islands they showed off. Oh, there she is right there. The top island. It's got Viv Vision in it. This was like the land cycle they showed off. You got all your color pairs here. So far, they only showed 5 of them, which I imagine is all we're getting. But they have tap and a colorless, so they don't come in tap. They tap for colors. They can tap for a color if you have any basic land, because it doesn't say you have to have a forest or a mountain, for example, for training compound. So any basic and activate, and they can tap for a color if any land entered that turn too. So that's a weird land cycle. I'm not sure if that's going to be constructed playable. Not with all the, you know, maybe if they had like the land type taglines, but I'm not sure. So this was a huge news here. I think I'm not sure how everybody feels about this, but this is all the secret layer commanders that already came out like a year or 2 ago. Like Storm and Iron Man, I know, and Captain America. Those are very like sought after. And the fact that they're going to be in the collector boosters, granted, but you know, the new art and reprints, I think that's sick. Like I said, I play that Titan of Invention deck, and I really want that one right there. Next, this is more of like that bold logo stuff, so I went ahead and put Vision and Scarlet Witch together, lovers. We've seen both of these cards already, we kind of covered them, but this is just showing off the new art. Here's more of them. We saw Thanos in my other video this morning. They showed him today. That Doctor Doom is absolutely sick right there. And then the Wolverine Fierce Fighter, I covered him in my previous video as well. Thor, we kind of saw that one earlier. I showed it off. Here's Captain. We've seen him in a previous date. And then there's Elektra. And then this is like I think it's called panel art. The 10 rings, we haven't seen this one yet, but it's legendary artifact for 8. Your maximum hand size is 10. At the beginning of your end step, if you have fewer than 10, you can draw cards equal to the difference. I think this is great commander card, obviously. Don't think it's going to be in constructed, but always having a handful of 10 is great. There's the art reactor, but in the panel art. And these are the source material arts. Simulacrum synthesizer, great with the Iron Man art, and it's making the 3/3s each turn. I hope there's like a special token for that. That'd be sick. Like 3/3 construct, and they're like either Ultron drones or like Iron Man suits. Show and tell, I don't know. I'm just gonna do a quick one. Is that on Arena yet? Let me see if Show and Tell the card is on Arena. Show and Tell. It is timeless. Yeah, it's already on Arena. Okay, I just didn't know if that was our first coming to Arena. Defense of the Heart, Fight to Death. Then we got the comic book cover art. Then we got the Thanos one, Iron Man, and the Black Panther. This is the backside of the two Iron Man and Black Panther. More of like that panel art or comic book art. There's a Mjolnir. That one's sick. That's the one I want right there. And then the Armor Wars. And then these were like crazy on the Spider-Man one, where people like went in and took them and were trying to resell them for a lot. But these are basically just your welcome decks. I think this event is like a week before the pre-release or something like that. They're typically not that strong as cards. Let's see. Other artifacts get 1/1. I mean, that's pretty sick for the deck. Black Panther, Lifelink. Basically has Exalt on it. Black Widow, Daring Operative. That's expensive. Mills 3. Nope. 3 double strike, so it hits for 4. Haste. When it attacks, tap a target. That's not terrible. Not for constructed, but. And then Hulk. He attacks each combat 4/4, but he gets a counter each time. Very, very, beginner deck cards. Where did I put that? Okay, yeah. This was the 10 Rings. We kind of talked about it earlier. This is Shang-Chi, Master of Kung Fu. Shang-Chi is 1 in a green. We're ending with this one because it came out last, by the way. We kind of switched formats again because this one came out last. I think it's very constructed playable. It's 2 in a green. It's a 2/2. You may activate abilities of creatures you control as though they had haste. And then you tap it, add 2 mana to any 1 color, spend this mana only to activate abilities of creatures. It's reminiscent of Tyvar, and it's break even with mana dorks. Like if you play Land of War Elves, it can tap right away, so it's break even. I think it's like brings Insidious Roots kind of back into the fold, because the plants can come out and automatically tap, and you can just like keep going because it has the exact ability like a Tyvar had. Okay, guys, we're 37 minutes in. If you've liked this video, tell me which style you liked. Did you like the style that's more PowerPointy in the beginning, or the one where we kind of just like post the pictures up and just off the cuff kind of, go over them together? Comment down below who you're excited to see. I don't have a schedule on when videos are coming out. Normally I try to do it like 11 Central. Right now I'm just going to be filming as previews come in good enough chunks to make a video. So that's where we're at here. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll catch you guys on the next one.